Hey everyone, Alison here. I hope you're all well. Today I wanted to talk to you about mental health waiting lists and my personal experience with this and my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what your experiences have been. For me, I suffer from depression, which, without belittling it to anyone, it's one of the most common, and obviously your bipolars, your schizophrenia, your personality disorders, they're classed as sort of the rarer and maybe more severe types of mental depression. Like I say, not saying anything about depression. I know how crippling it can be. Just saying in NHS terms, then that tends to be how it's viewed. So this is purely from my experience of depression. And for me, you start feeling depressed, and it takes you a while to really pluck up the courage to go to your GP and sort of tell them what's going on, because you're ashamed. You hope that tomorrow I'll be okay. You spend a lot of time just wallowing in it and really struggling to dig yourself out, but you want to and you try, but it's overwhelming. And this can go on for anything from a couple of days to a couple of weeks to a couple of months to even a couple of years for some people, and they don't seek that help. They try and cope. They may put on a front and may be able to hold down a job, but when they're home they fall apart. Some people, it affects every area of their life. And anyway, so you're feeling this at home. Either you decide you don't want to feel this way anymore, or a loved one turns around and says you really need to get help, and you go to your GP and you do those assessments that they give you. Basically, probably by now, it's the depression scale, but obviously they want to know, do you have any suicidal thoughts? And if I'm honest, even those people who do have suicidal thoughts, the process isn't particularly quick. It's not until you've actually made a valid attempt on your life that you will get seen on an immediate basis. But anyway, from my point of view, I had mild suicidal tendencies, nothing that would totally tip the scale into them requiring crisis intervention. So go do the scale, tell them maybe a bit of my story, why I think I might be feeling that way, how long I felt it, all of that kind of shazam. And obviously the first thing they do is tell you that they can offer you medication, and that's one avenue, because they think that that's kind of like a relatively quick fix to level you out, to help you past this immediate point of how you're feeling. And I've discussed that before, and I'll probably do another video about that at some point. But then they'll talk about, do you think you'll benefit from any type of therapy or counselling? Some people say yes, some people wouldn't say no. I always said yes, because at that moment in time when I'd gone to the GP, I wanted whatever help I could get. So you say yes, and then comes the killer, which is there's a 6-month waiting list. And let's face it, a lot can happen in 6 months. They will tell you, obviously, if things get worse, let us know. But you've already suffered for this long anyway. A lot of people think that they don't want to be a burden. At that point, 6 months seems like a lifetime away, and it can sometimes be that trigger that they think, you know what, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the wait. I can't live 6 months like this. And at that point, many people probably do attempt suicide. And then there's the other people, like myself, who have on occasion waited that 6 months, and by the time the appointment comes, actually I'm okay. I've dealt with whatever it was that was causing me. So it kind of feels to me as though it's not helping. The waiting list is not helping anyone, and I know that it's a shortage of funding that kind of adds to this issue, and that's, I mean, we look what's going on at the moment, political landscape, and the improvements in the NHS is not looking like it's likely to happen anytime soon. And what I also found is that yes, you can go private, and obviously I've done NLP. I know that that's a very, very effective therapy for certain mental health conditions, particularly when you're dealing with past trauma. But that costs money. And if your mental health has been impacting so heavily on your life that you're not able to hold down a job, you don't have that money. You don't have the money. And I know people will probably say, well, make it a priority. And that's very, in some ways, is true. But if you've ever been on benefits, you know that actually your priority is keeping a roof over your head, because if you don't have a roof over your head, then you're homeless, and that will just make your mental health problems even worse. So sometimes you are literally faced with the choice between buying food and paying to have gas and electricity. So it's not always an option to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to pay £30 a week to have therapy or counselling or whatever it is. And so you just get left on your own, and there's nothing, there's no help, there's no support. Crisis team, my experience with crisis team is intermittent at best. I know that they're supposed to respond to you in a crisis, but even they have like a triage system, so you go through and it may be that you're not classed as being serious enough. And I mean, ultimately, it does all come down to and how much money is available to spend on these things. But why is this not a priority? Mental health affects 1 in 4. 1 in 4 people can be affected by mental health, and that's maybe not personally, but certainly in your life, you will be affected by mental health. And yet, money isn't available for it. And I know there's lots of other things that we need money for. We need money for cancer research. My dad had cancer, and I wouldn't wish to take money off that research at all. Money for heart problems, which is #1 killer. I know that there's lots of valid reasons for money to go places, and I'm not going to get into the political side of it. I'm just airing my views, which are that mental health needs to be more of a priority, because right now it is not fit for purpose, in my opinion. Anyway, that's my opinion about it. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what experiences you've had, good and bad. Feel free to object to what I'm saying. Feel free to come up with a counter argument. I'm more than happy to hear it. I would love to hear positive. And I'm not slating the NHS at all. My mum was a nurse. I have lots of good things to say about the NHS. It's just, at the moment, we are not creating a fit for purpose solution to what is an ever-growing mental health problem. I'd love to hear from you. Speak soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.